Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some open source 2D4X. I was like, before I started the stream, I was like, I should need to always say it's open source. So now I'm starting with open source. Okay, it doesn't matter that much. I am streaming a 2D4X Godot game creation here, C#, .NET. You gotta say all those keywords. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. But anyways, this is what I'm streaming. We're working on storage today. The game actually looks like this right now. It's gonna eventually have all of North America's post-apocalyptic 4X 2D. I've said that enough, right? I gotta do a test post from my YouTube. I do this every time now because sometimes I can't see YouTube comments and then I feel bad when I can't see them because the people think I'm fucking ignoring them and I'm not. So here we go. We're working on storage. So we can look at our storage here. I wonder if we look at over here if this thing works. And the problem that we have, and we're going to fix this problem. I sat for 30 minutes looking at this problem before I figured it out. So these two numbers are half of, this max perishable here. And if we had 3, it would divide it by 3. And the problem we were having is because you only can have a total amount of storage. Like this works great, but then when we go up to here, we get a negative value. And I was looking at this code, like how do we make this positive or negative or whatever? How do we do the math to make this work better? And it turns out there's a much easier way. I literally 30 minutes of me like, no, wait, we need to divide by this and do this, and it was all a big waste of my time. All we need to do is just add these all up, wherever the fuck it went. Right here, we just add these all up, and that's the max amount. So like that 50 is right, sure, for this one, but when we go back up here, it should be 0. So we just add these together, and if there was 10 of them, we just add all 10 of them together. It's that simple, and it's one of those things you get like caught in the weeds or whatever they say, whatever that thing is. I'm gonna start my music that you guys can't hear. So yeah, I was lost in the weeds, and I think I may have been lost in the weeds the whole end of last stream with the same thing. So what we need to do is do like a for each or just a for each loop. We probably can. I think my music might be too loud because it's like really loud in one ear, which is strange. There we go. You guys can't hear my music. I always say that because if I don't say it, someone says, we can't hear your music, so anyways, we just got to do a for each here. For each of what though? We need to do a for each of these H boxes, wherever they are. I know it's open somewhere. This storage H box. And do we know? Oh, it's right here. We just have perishable resource storage. This is going to be it. I'm going to say it's going to be so easy. And what's going to happen is it's going to be a total clusterfuck because I said it was going to be so easy because that's what happens. Perishable storage H box. And we're just going to do it for this perishable first. And then we're going to go, we'll just need some number here. We need to put it up. Yeah, I guess we have to put it here. We need an int total available storage. And I guess we'll start it at 0. And then we'll say total available storage equals total available storage plus storage hbox dot value is what I think we need. What are those things that, we need, I have this somewhere. I guess we can do the amount label. Yeah, we can do the amount label. I hope this is in the right order. Man, I might have fucked myself. Amount, resource amount label. We got to int this thing though. We got to turn it into an int. I think it's int.parse. We gotta parse this thing. Okay, it's not int.parse because I didn't do the text. There we go. And then we can also, I think, just do this. Yeah, there we go. So it's going to add all of this together, and then we'll get rid of this thing. And this will just be total available storage to string there. And this no longer needs to be 2 lines. That is not required. And I'm gonna do a different thing today. So I have mentioned this in the past, but not recently. Probably in the past 6 months or something. I hate when there's these messages down here, but I started to ignore them, and I think the reason why is because sometimes you can't do anything about them, and I'm not going to do that. I want these to have 0 messages going forward. So after we fix this, we'll go over these messages and to figure out what is going on and get rid of some of them, and suppress the other ones that we don't care about. Because I don't like these messages. Because I feel like, so I was actually talking to someone else about this. Like if you look at it, this is my stuff is not a tutorial, but if I like load a tutorial or watch a tutorial or whatever, and it has a bazillion messages, I feel like their code isn't very good. It seems amateurish, and maybe that's just because I'm still somewhat new to programming, and maybe that's like a thing where you just get used to having all those messages. Okay, so if we go down 1, we should get 50, and we got nothing. We got a bug instead. Open. Okay. Let's copy this. Put it here. The input string current amount was not in the correct format. Where? What line is it on? Why don't you tell me what line it's on? Storage, 17. Storage, hbox 17. Change value float. Storage, hbox 17. That has nothing to do with what we were... It's putting in this value. This float is being changed into an int, and it's the perishable is yes or whatever. It's whatever we passed in there. Resource 72. And I want to rename this thing too to storage panel. 72. I'm getting this parse is not working correctly. The resource amount label text. I'm betting this isn't working right. Total available storage. It's going to hit the first one. Resource amount label. Resource amount label. That's actually not, I don't think, even what we want. So let's go back to our game here. Resource amount label. That's, I think, fish. That's the word fish on that particular one. Yeah, that's not what we want. That's the problem. I haven't worked on this in a week, so that's my excuse. Max amount spin box is what we want, I think. Max amount spin box value is what we want. I even said value earlier, and then what is your problem? Cannot convert double to a byte. I think we can just do this. We cannot just do that. What did I do earlier? I was just looking at that thing. Where was that? That was over here. Oh, you got to put it in little things. Of course you do. Whatever those are called. There they are. Oh no, I have a sneeze coming on. It was like a half sneeze. All right, let's try that again. Man, I got some Courtney Love playing. Hole, the band. Big fan of hers. I know that's like a people don't really like her very much. All right, no bugs yet. Let's go down. Okay, we got problems here. This is going to add it all up, which is great, but we need to subtract it from the total perishable. So we got total storage, total available storage. That's not what this number is, though. So let's redo this. This is total used storage. And then we're going to, after we get all total used storage, we're going to subtract that from, we're going to subtract that from a number, which is the county. And wait, what do we know? We know this county data. Do we have, where are we getting this county data? Okay, we're going to need this. You know, we don't need to do it that way. Copy this. We have it right here for some reason. Oh, because I was using it before. Okay, so we're going to go county data dot perishable storage minus, and we're going to need another number here. We can do an int. This would be total available storage equals, what is your problem? Yeah, that's fine, because then we're going to do total usage storage. No, this is going to be called total used. I've been working on my other game a little bit, and I'm not being very verbose on my variables, or actually not having the correct stuff up has really fucked me long term. I like am troubleshooting and figuring out stuff, and I don't know what the fuck is going on, because of, I think the variables mean something, mean something different, because I just didn't do a very good job of what my variable names were. So I'm trying to make that better, and then this is gonna go total, and I'm trying to comment better, which I've said before. This one we don't need anymore. When it's really complicated, I need to put better comment. If it's obvious, who gives a fuck? But when it's complicated, because I'm working on this quest thing where there's like a quest chain on my other game. So if you go to one place, it tells you, go to this next place. But then there's also like a log you can click on, and it's like in a normal journal, like where you can see what's going on. And it's gotten so convoluted that I just have no idea what's going on every time I do anything. So there we got 50, and fingers crossed we don't get negative there. Okay, now let's just like throw some weird numbers in here and like do that. All right, so I think this is working, except this one's not going to work because we didn't update that code. So we can get rid of that thing. And we can copy this. And this is all going to change at some point when we have more than these two different types of storage. But right now we're just doing perishable and non-perishable. The problem is with, I guess it's not a problem, but like canned goods or food that's non-perishable, but I feel like it needs to be in a different spot than the same place as the wood, like wood or whatever. Andre has it going. Yeah, so I feel like it needs, but we're just going to do these two for now until we get more different types of storage. But there's definitely going to be canned goods. Those aren't even in the game yet. Like even the basic resource of that type. So we need to fix this though. This is going to be non, and this is going to be non, and this is going to be non with a capital N. And I think that's it. So let's do another thing here. We don't need all this crap down here. I don't know. I'm doing the label name. Oh, I put the label. Oh my god. I was trying to make this console print better, and okay. So I was like, for a second, I was like, this isn't working. No, we got 300. And that's right. So if we go up here, come on, go up. That's broken. So we probably did. What's going on there? We probably did not. Yeah, I only did one. I didn't do the other side, so we gotta do the other. Whoops, we need an else in here. Go back. We need an else. And probably we could turn this into a method. This is the thing I was just talking about. This should be text. We could probably just turn this into a method, and so we don't have to have so much duplicate code. In fact, why am I even adjusting this? Let's turn this into a method. Let's call this something. What do we want to call this here? What are we updating over here? We are updating. No, we're updating this number. We're almost done with this stupid storage thing. It's going to be brutal until it's fixed, I guess. So this one is just going to be called, we'll call this this is the part we're going to want to turn into a method. And this is going to be called update max value, even though this is very similarly named here. Nope. Max value. And we'll create a thing here. We'll have it generated automatically. That's what Alt Enter does that. And we're going to need to pass in, if we copy this thing over, we don't actually need all of that GD print shit in there. Now we're going to need a county data and an I, huh? I didn't cut that. Should have cut this. We needed a county data and an I. And I could have generated this with that stuff in there. County data. Did I put that as a capital? Jesus Christ. We'll pass in that county data, and we're going to do county data, and then we're going to do int I. And that should do that, except look at that C right there. This is a bug. This is a bug in whatchamacallit. This should all be blue. Not that it matters. This isn't going to work. We need to pass in this list. We need to make this be up here. And we're going to take this, and we're going to put this down here. And we're going to put this inside this thing again, because this is where it goes. So we need to pass in I in the index. Oh, this is mad because this is, oh, we can't do the for loop. We don't need the I anymore. We just need the index passed in. which is another int. And then back here, we're going to pass in index. And I got rid of something. And we don't actually need this amount, so we'll get rid of that. We got to make sure that this works, though. This is not going to go to the right list, the right array, though. So we need to pass in the array, too. So let's put in the array is going to be an array of, what are these things? Storage hbox. Hbox called storage hbox array. And then we'll pass in this thing into here. And then it's wait, what do you, no, not length. We want you to go to here. Then here, we're just going to change this to storage hbox array. And where else do we need that? We need you. Whoops. Array. Oh shit, we have something else in here too. This is a pain in my ass. What are we doing with this county data? The thing that we're passing in with the county data is we don't actually need the county data. We need an int. We need an int called max storage. And then we're going to pass in this perishable storage thing. For a second, I was like, wait, I didn't fix these? No, I didn't fix them. And we can just get rid of this. Should be max storage now. And this should be storage. Storage hbox array length. And then down here, this is going to be max storage. And this one's going to be storage. I feel like I've gone down some weird path. Well, we'll know soon enough here. Shit, we need this label too. We're going to be passing in 45 things here. Current perishable available label. We actually don't really need this stuff, but we'll leave it in there. So we'll put in a label in here too. Jesus Christ. A label called available label. And then we'll pass in this fucking label. Where are we getting this label from? Oh, you know what? We do. It's going to be perishable. What did I call this thing? Current perishable available label, comma. There we go. Now we have 45 things we're passing through. We need this, though, to change to current, or to available label. Available label there. And then this should be store. Wait, it's going to do it for me. And this is going to be perishable resource. This is going to be storage, HBox array thing. Storage, HBox array. And that is everything, I think. Let's test this. I may have just made a clusterfuck out of my life. My phone has some notification on it that I've never seen before. I wonder what it is. Okay, this is all looks right. We're only dealing with perishable, so let's put that down. 50 is right. Whoops. Oh, we have 100 is right. Let's go up here. That's correct. That's correct. And we can't go any higher. So that works. So let's go back over to here and copy the first part of this and put this here. Get rid of that. And we'll do non-perishable. Current non-perishable. We'll just put this down here so that I can see this all on one line, and we'll make this the same way. And then we'll do comma, county data, non-perishable, storage, and then index will be passed in. And back to here, restart. And wait. Always so much waiting with computers. I was actually thinking about that earlier, how used to waiting for websites we are. I know it's only like 1 second, but in the good old days, and we can't go above because this equals 5,000. Oh, we got a negative in there. Where'd that negative come from? Uh-oh. So that negative is from, oh, look, that one went down on its own. That's even more bizarre. Oh, that one, it did it again. Let's see if we can get this one to duplicate that craziness. There was that negative for a second. Okay, so there's something going wrong here, which is awful. Let's start this again. It works most of the time, but not all the time. I wonder if that was because of this code that I just changed, or if it's something else. So one of these, I think, is the problem. So I think there's two different issues. Let me do this again. I don't need to actually doesn't matter. So if we go to here, so there's a max value that we can't see. We want it so that this remembers that you were at 2,500. So you can't go above 2,500 because that's half of this. So it's remembering that, but at some point it doesn't. And I'm surprised. Nothing should be affecting this except for you clicking. How did I get? Okay, it's right here. So they're the same problem, and then it updates this. So that was at 2,600 still, And it should have been at 2600. Oh, but now it's off. Wow, that's all fucked up. There's some math in here that's fucked up. Update max value. That's this thing. No, that's not. Is it this thing? Update spin box max value. It is this thing that we were just doing. So that I fucked something up here. I wonder if I fucked it up when I changed it to this thing. I'm looking for like something I forgot to update. Let's look at our code down here. Vegetables. Yeah, so this is wrong. These should always add up. No, actually they should. So maybe there's another way to do this. I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it with some like math, but I think that's confusing myself and the code to do it that way. Update available storage. Update max value. Update spin box max value. Update spin box max value should be these. Somehow, what are we doing here? So this goes through each one of the spin boxes. That's what these little boxes are called. Spin boxes. Never heard of that before until 2 weeks ago or something. I need all these separate lines here because this is much smaller now. Gotta drink some of my coffee. Perishable storage. Perishable storage. I don't think we need this. This is max storage. Yeah, we don't need these things in here anymore. Perishable resource length. That's always going to be 2 right now. I guess we could look, but yeah, it's always going to be 2 right now. Because we only have 2. That's for later when we have other issues. With 3 is going to, because it comes out with a decimal place, and we're just going to ignore the decimal. And we don't actually need this. This amount isn't used, so let's get rid of this. It's going to give us an error, though, because we are passing this in. So let's get rid of this. Save that. That'll get rid of one of these messages down here. And so what am I think I have my overall mental logic is wrong. So this is our updating the available storage. Let's rename this. This is update county available storage. So this should be the county's available storage that we're fucking with here. And this is the one that we did originally. That's this number up here. This should be doing the math of basically adding these two together and then subtracting it from that. It's not like that fucking hard of math, so it should be pretty simple. But obviously something has gone south here. So with this one, why don't we need a mount on here? I guess we just don't use a mount anymore, which is a whole different, I think we're gonna get another bug over here. We are. I guess we don't give a shit about the amount that's happening. We give a shit about... See, now it's saying we don't need this thing, but I don't think we can actually get rid of this because this is coming through with a signal. Let's see what happens. If we get rid of this, let's run this and see what happens here. I think that has to be in there or you get issues. But I'm on the hunt today to get rid of those messages. Yeah, so it's like, no, you can't do that. It needs this value to be in here. Even though we're not using it. And maybe we gotta redo our math from scratch. So this is one of the problems with this message thing, is it's like, remove this, but you can't. And if you put a thing, it suggests you put that, but then it just says, no, just get rid of this thing. And it says you could put a 1 in here, and it suggests that. That's one of the problems with this thing. And I think this is a Godot thing. That's Godot is saying, is interacting with Visual Basic. Visual Basic? Visual Studio. I don't actually know 100% how that works. Who's giving me these things? It's just that when I used to use Unity, they were different. It gave me different things. But let's not worry about that right now. We'll deal with that after we deal with this. For some reason, I'm getting Discord messages. So let's see here. Let's just I'm just making sure we're not getting those bugs anymore. No, I mean, that's the debug thing from earlier. So this one, is adding these up, and that's fine. It's working there. I'm only checking this thing right now. That's correct. Okay, but that one just went down. This shouldn't be affecting this ever. These shouldn't be... I guess maybe it's going down because this max value is getting set and it can't be over that. That's what's happening. All right, so the max the number in there can't be over this, so that's why this goes down, because we're somehow fucking with this max value to the wrong amount is getting fucked with here. So let's go back to this. This is going to take all my 3 hours of streaming just for this one storage box thing. I knew this storage box would be a fucking nightmare. Update available counties storage. We don't fuck with we get the max value, but we don't apply it anywhere in these things. We could actually turn this into something else too. This is all non-perishable, non-perishable. Yeah, so this is the county's available storage, the thing at the top. And we're not actually applying anything. Update each type of resource. Update resource labels. We don't give a shit about that. It's got to be in here somewhere. We are assigning the max value is the max storage divided by the length plus the available label text. And this is the thing I just created. I feel like I started working on one thing. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to change this into a method. And then I went to a different place and change that into a method. So let's see here. So this math is we take the max storage, divide it by the length, and we add the available label text. I accidentally hit Control D. And this is wrong. So if I is not, because we were not adjusting the max storage of the index we were currently using. What's another way we can get this? Let's think here. So the max storage, so the reason why we need to have the max storage set to amount is so that the player can't, I don't know, I can't click on stuff here. They can't go above, they can't, oh, this number is wrong anyways. They can't go above, let's restart this. The available amount of storage. What a pain in my ass. I knew this was going to be a pain from the beginning. So this, we need to make this stay, the max value needs to be half of this, which is 2,500, so that if you click on this up thing, you can't go above that. That's what this is doing here. And so the way I was fixing that was, so if you go down one, the max value of this shouldn't change, because you still could go up to 2,500, because it's still half. So I was not changing, I'm skipping that one, but I'm changing this max value to be plus 50, and so that you can do that. But it seems to break here. Yeah, so I clicked it again and it still thinks this is at 2,400. Yeah, so there's something. So how do we get this math a different way? It seems like what we should do is set all of these max value. No, that's not going to work. No, it is going to work. No, it's not going to work. What we need to do, so right now, what is the max value that we could put this at? This one, we could put it at 2,550, and this one we can only put it at 2,500, because that would make this 5,000. And somewhere along this, it doesn't work. So let's look at this again here. Let's get rid of this thing and this thing. Well, let's figure out the math of what we have to do this. So this one, we don't want this to change. What is its max value right now? Its max value it's 2,500, which is what we want. In this one, we want its max value to be 2,550. No, we want this one to be 2,550. And this one to be 2,500. So even right now, this is broken. So so I think it's when you switch back and forth, it starts getting confused. Like, it works fine if you're just doing the same one. Like, this works, we should be able to go up to, yeah. Oh, but that actually went down one. Because I had clicked in there and there was 50 up there. 50 was up there. Okay, so where the fuck, man? This is going to be a pain in my ass. I have no idea what the solution for this is. I only have one drink of coffee. It's done. I'm done with my coffee. So there's no help there. Let me see here. I wish I could like show this to ChatGPT and ask, but I cannot show it. It'd be very hard to do the thing. So let's see. If I is not equal to index, which the index, I guess the index could be off. Max value equals max storage divided by the length plus the available label text. Available label text. What are we passing in is the current perishable available label. Current non-perishable available label. That's right. It feels right, at least. This is the H box, so it's going through each one of these. It's skipping the index, because we want to leave the old one alone. I guess, do we though? And now I'm back in the weeds. I was talking about this earlier. You get in the weeds and you can't get at, you got to break away and think outside the box. God, what a fucking, just constantly using, what are those things called? I don't know what this is a minute. You guys can't hear this, but I'm listening to a minister song that I've never heard before, which is strange. And I don't want to hear it. Okay, so what we could do, oh wait, this is what we do. Okay, we take, because this one, we want this to be 2,500 and we want this to be 2,550. If we just add the available to each one of these, that would be the max value. We don't need to fuck around with this is whatever. So let me think about this. We look at this big line of shit that we wrote that we're gonna not use here. Let's comment this out real quick. Let's put this here. And then we go for each storage HBox in the array, and we say storage HBox dot max value. Now we need a spin thing in here. Max amount spin box max value equals storage HBox max, no, where is this thing? This is value. Where are we at here? Storage HBox max. No, we don't want this. Yes, we do want the value plus this thing dot text, but we need this to be an int because it doesn't know what that is. I think I just do this. I should know this by now. Cast this as an int. Okay, it didn't work. We need to do int dot parse. Get this shit out of here. Go over to here. So the max value should be the spin box's current value plus the available. Let's look at this again and make sure that. So the max value is going to be 2,450 plus this, which is 2,500, which is what we want. This one's going to be 2,000. If we add this, all right, that seems right. Seems right is the key thing. Did I save this shit? I did save this shit. 49 minutes. if we can finish this storage disaster, it's not really a disaster. All right, so let's push up. That doesn't work, so that's what we want. This works, and let's go to here. That works. What about this one? We can't go any higher. Let's go down 150. Let's go down 100 and then like go up 50 and then up 50. Let's just fucking click some shit. All right, that seems to work. And we'll get rid of this, I guess. All that hard work for nothing. What are we even passing it? Yeah, we're not even using this shit. We don't even. So last time in chat, I was going once again in the weeds, and I was just like, chat was trying to help me, and they were helping me, and someone was like, I think you need the index, and they finally like figured out a way to pass the index and stuff. I didn't need that shit at all. They were, they helped, but it was just not. All right, we're getting rid of all this crap. I'm not trying to say they weren't helpful. You gotta be careful. So I've noticed I've been streaming now for a couple of years, two different channels, and I've noticed that you gotta be very we don't need to know if it's perishable. What are we passing in here? What do you want? All you want is the bool, huh? You got to be careful about how you say things when you're streaming, because it's easily for other people who weren't there to misconstrue what you are saying. So I always want to clarify. Chat was helpful, but it was me. The problem was me, not chat. And I went to all that effort though to make a index, because chat was right about solving that one problem, but there was an easier way, I hope. And now that I've done that big speech, we're gonna find that something's busted. Like right there. Oh no, wait, we're fine. I was like, we're at 0. No, we're fine. Okay, I think that's working, so we're just gonna pretend that that's working. Whatever we're putting down here is something I don't want to see anymore, though. We got. So I want to rename this to storage, not resources. I mean, I guess it is, but it's more about storage than it is your. I guess it also shows how many resources you have. We just don't have any resources. So maybe I should do that real quick. Should it be storage or resources? Let's think about this. You click on this. Now it should be your resources, and the storage is a side thing. So let's go to our thing here. We've solved this, fingers crossed, forever. And then we've created our storage panel. That's done. And then we can go back. Why is this here? Let's go back. What have I done here? And then create button on the county info panel. We've done that. All right, then let me mentally prepare for what we're doing next. Storage is done. And we can put this all the way down here. And not at the very bottom, because I've put some other weird shit at the bottom much later. There we go. So let's tackle these things, but and then we'll get. But we're back to research here. Assign max storage at start to county data. Are we not doing that? I thought we were doing that. County generation. Yeah, we have this private int. What the fuck is that for? Get rid of this stuff. Copy and assign resources. I must be using that like in different spots or something. set max storage. Doesn't seem like I'm using that. See, so now we're up to like 13 of these things. And they just start growing. That's why we're going to tackle that thing. But I think we already did this. I think this is done. Assign max storage at start to county data. Add county-based storage to game. We just did that. It's all county-based stuff. Is this not a... I didn't have to make this an issue. All right, we did that one. Close. And we did that. I'm pretty sure that's what that's. Copy and assign resources. Oh, that's talking about different types of resources. And then it sets the max storage. And it just sets this. I'm not quite sure why I have this up here, though. I feel like that's a weird... that I don't really need that up there, but we'll leave it there. We'll put a note in here. I need to do like some code cleanup. I watched some YouTube video. I forget. I think it was someone in chat. I think it was Joker Glitch Code. He does Godot tutorials. He's on my README for this if you want to look at his tutorials. But I think he was telling me, he sent me a link to some guy talking about some Uncle Bob or something, and I watched part of it. I never heard of the guy, and I watched part of it, and he was talking about how like I think it was that video, everyone's code is shit at the beginning, and you got to spend time like going through and be like commenting and improving your shit code. There's like no way around it. It always turns out that way. So I'm gonna put in a note in here. I think we might be able. See, it says they're in use though. To get rid of these, they're in use somewhere. I mean, they're in use right there, but do they have to be up there? Anyways, those are done. Let's close this. Go back over here. Let the faction AI decide which research it wants to do between the current two. So this is actually not where we're at. Let's go back to our research panel and hope everything's still working there. So now we have basic storage in here, and we can assign a researcher. That was already been there, but we need this to actually affect something. Like right now, it doesn't do anything if you research it. And in fact, this will make it so you can build this. What do we have in here? We just have, oh yeah, this has this weird oversight. This county improvement is a converted warehouse. So we actually need the converted warehouse to do something. And we also need this to do something. We can't click on that. Are we supposed to be able to click on that? I guess not. It would, basic production allows us, these don't do anything either once they've been built. So let's go back to our list here. I'm going to take a break after we figure out what we're doing next here. Let the AI faction, or let the faction AI decide which research it wants to do between the two. County improvements actually generate the resources. Okay, so that's on the list. Top or have it represented it, maybe only when clicked on a county or just, so that's I guess we could do this one. I think it's going to be easier if we have the county improvements actually generate the resources. And this is more of a county improvement thing. We can move storage out of here. We can just get out of the way. This is more of a county improvement thing than a research thing. So I think what we should do is put this here, put this here, and then let's add what we next round is here. Okay, so there's a couple of things we want to do before we. So next round means like the next time we're actually working on it. This is just so that we go through each one of these, and it's way at the bottom. But there's a few things we have to do now to continue on with our research. What did I title this video? I'm gonna have to change it. Then research storage. That's already done. I'm gonna change it. Fix max storage. Then I'm not gonna change it like in the stream I'm doing, but I'm gonna change it for later because I use it to update. Whatever. You guys don't give a fuck. Fix max storage. Then make researched items do things. Period. So the whole research, and I say this every time, research. We're going to be working on research for an eternity because each time I add a thing to research, it affects other parts of the game. Like this, we had to make the storage stuff. So that's why we put this here temporarily. We're going to need to actually generate the research. We're going to need people decide. AI people need to decide which county improvements they want to work at. And so this is going to be a first thing. And we can move this. Now I'm going to leave this down here because this is just temporary. It's just that we're going to knock out all of these. And so that we're at next round here. They need to decide which county they work at, and then we also if the AI population needs to be able to scavenge and not work at a county population. So that's going to be the first thing we're actually going to do. Is we're going to set everyone to scavenging, and then they'll start deciding where they're going to work. This is like I said, every time we fuck with the adding research, it's going to be just an explosion of side things that we have to do to make. We could just have and this is kind of we had it before where you could just select research and it didn't do anything. You could look at the research, it didn't do anything. Now you can select it, you can assign a researcher, and they can actually add their points to the research. But now that once the research is done, it doesn't do anything, and some of it is already done when you start. Like this basic production here is already done. So we need to have these things do something. Besides, you can start building them, but that's it. We also need. Oh man. We also need to. So this kind of goes in with the same thing. AI population needs to decide if they want to build a county improvement. So this is going to be sort of like it's kind of like Victoria 3, where you're hiring people and whatnot to work on things. You're not just they don't just like everyone, if you have 10 people and you need 5 people to be hired, they just don't jump in there and start working. They might not want to do it. So that's going to be part of the whole game thing, is like making your people happy and paying them the right amount. But I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. I didn't think about what I should be doing next at all while I was on my break. I just smoked a cigarette and read about Helldiver 2 on Reddit. They're having Helldiver 2 has screwed themselves. Uh, okay, what are we doing? Let's look at our faction AI or population AI is probably what we want to do here. And so decide next activity. This is what they're going to do the next day. So they're going to go through, and currently they just work on whatever. Like they immediately jump in and start working. And we don't really want that to be how it is, though. We don't, like right now, well, let's make sure it works that way still. Many things have changed since that day. So let's go to our county improvements. We just made one that was too expensive. We'll go lumberjack station. And I think this problem that is under county improvements has been fixed. When you build a county improvement, it should immediately show up in the county improvement panel. Right now, you have to close it and reopen it. That didn't happen. I think that's fixed. So let's get rid of that. That's old. That's an old thing that I probably just fixed one day out of frustration or something. So that's fixed. This is under construction. Let's go to this and let some time run here. That's still showing. Oh, there's also something about, oh, you know what? We need to fix this. This isn't the problem, but if we say I want this shit and we have 500 food now, this is going to be massive. It needs to show up over here. So this needs to come first. This needs to be the real thing. Resources need to show on the resource panel like no shit. Like what? Of course they do. Okay. Convert to population. We should put this over here. And we should put this over here. And then we should put in here too. Population needs to use resources like food. This is so we're not to the county improvements yet. We'll get there. We're going to be stuck on, all right, let's put this back. Let's put this in a better order here. Let's put this back here. Let's put storage, which I'd put all the way down here, back up here. And we will put county improvements. This isn't like a set, nothing we're doing is set in stone here. Because that's just how I operate. County improvements. It's going to be like that, and then storage should be over here. You know, I did look up an interface, and I do know what those are now. This just doesn't work. I could do it. I have no way I could do it, but I don't want to do it. So what are we doing for what? I just got like sidetracked looking at those. All right. Resources need to actually show in the resource panel. So when this thing pops up, that event thing, which is like that's the only way to currently get resources, but it will be a good way to test that this is working. We need to build something, and probably under the banker. The banker probably actually already controls that. So let's check. Check for food, find food buildings, build improvements, add resource. So this is adding food faction level. That's scrap at the faction level. And this is money. This is always at the faction level, and influence is always at the faction level, which is why we don't have that in there. So this is a story event, and it's adding to this faction food, but this is actually not where we need to add this. we need to add this to, does it say what we're doing here? Food. All right, so this is all wrong. This is all wrong. But it's not that bad. We need to go back and look at this story event, basically. I don't think we can need that. We are going to need the top bar. We are going to need the county. Hopefully we don't need county generation. We are going to need that. We are going to need this. Resource data. We may need that. We don't need this storage HBox, hopefully. The banker we're going to need, faction, county population, faction, county improvement, faction AI. We probably don't need research right now. Okay, cleared up that crap. So let's go back to our event thing, which is story event list. Oh, this is just a list of our events. We don't need that. We need this thing down here. So it's currently just on the 3rd hour. We just have this hard coded in because it's just like a test event. But we need it to actually to apply. We got our choices buttons, which is only 2 right now. Accept button, and then we're adding this resource, and we're saying it's the player faction, and it's current story event data, which is, what is this thing? I haven't looked at story event data, so that's what we need to take a look at. So when I put data at the end, that means it's a resource. Story event data. And this is looking at our resource data. So we have perishable and resource type. And this is in our all enums. This is like a fucking, talking about spaghetti. All right, so first off, we need to change that resource type to, this is a faction resource type, scrap, wood, and food. We need these separate. Scrap's like a special thing, so we're gonna need this separate from wood, but this probably should be building material. Do we have this on the top bar? I don't think we have wood up here. We don't. So each of their faction resources should be, we're going to change this to building material. Wood is a building material. I was having this alphabetical. It's going to fuck everything up. So then what we're going to do is back to here. We have a faction resource type. Is that really how we did that? Faction resource type? That doesn't work. Export public all enums, county resource type, and then we're gonna need over here, this needs to be faction resource type. And the reason why I did the rename like that is so it would go through all the code and rename it. Oh shit, we were gonna go through this stuff. See, this is the problem, but look, we got 21 of them. Let's just go through this. This might take 5 hours. So what it's saying right here is that this is a static thing. And I don't think it necessarily is. So it wants me to make this a static, so we can try this out though. We're just gonna go through and try each one. And this is another thing that, like, it doesn't understand that there's a signal pointed towards it. Oh, we got some other problem. Cannot be accessed with an instance, qualify it with a type name instead. See, It's because we changed that one. Where the fuck was that thing? We made that a static add resources. You can't do that, but this thing doesn't know that it needs to be static, or that it can't be static. And so that's part of the frustration with my messages down here, is that happens all the time. So I don't know what, yeah, see, now it runs. This isn't the resources we're talking about. So does not access. I wonder if there's a way I can suppress this better than just suppressing it. So actually, this could be over here. I've just opened twice. Godot Visual Studio make static message. I want it to stop doing that. I don't know if we can make it. When you export from Godot, it's actually just a separate pre-built binary you can build. This is not what I don't think anyone's gonna know what I'm talking about. Suppress. So this is it. This warning is technically correct, but clearly it's annoying. You're not first person to think so. The reason we added this, yeah. So like I was saying a little while ago, and I wasn't sure if this was a Godot thing, but it didn't used to happen when I used Unity. Is so yeah, Godot, they write that stuff. These messages are written by Godot. And it's just annoying to me. And this is 2 years, a year and a half old. Additionally, when from a code quality standpoint, it's good practice to always call static functions from the class so that the future readers of the code can distinguish the situation you're pointing out. Since there's no specific class name, you have no choice but just to call the function directly. Even worse, the message tells you to call the function on the class that your script is hearing from. In other words, if your script looks like this, then the warning tells you to use, which not only yeah, it's clearly wrong. I think we can carve out an exception to the warning so it doesn't apply in this case. If not, we may just have to disable the warning whenever a static function is called from a method that is. I completely understand. So what is the but this is, yeah, instance fixed. This shit isn't fixed. Oh, maybe they fixed it in GD script, but they didn't fix it in the Joker. Well, it looks like they fixed it in the GD script part. To done. Added, removed. We need, is this a, we need this for, for whatchamacallit, C#. 7 months ago. I mean, I can suppress it. Oh, what's this? I could just tell it to stop warning me. The thing is, some of them are real. Like, some of these may be real things. And so generally what I do is I go, bacon, I don't know if my cat's ever had, in my presence, if it's ever had bacon. Is bacon good for a kitty? The issue is the instance. This instance thing is the problem. So this thing's static because this is an instance. Because it's and this is I wonder if I get rid of this static, what happens? I'm pretty sure I got to make that static. I don't think any of these things went away. Oh, I give an error now. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't work. This has to be static. So this is the thing. It's this static with this static. If it wants me to put a static in there. So I guess this is what we'll do. I can suppress it. Well, let's look back at this thing. I guess we could just turn it off. Oh, that's for GD script, though. There's gotta, like, they said they fixed it, but it is not fixed. It's saying, oh, this is not static. What happens if I put static in here? Whoops. Static. It doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. Man, my cat will eat. Yeah, actually, that's not true. He's a very. I was about to say he'll eat anything, but for a while he would just eat whenever there was food available. Like he would just continue to eat. But now he's like mellowed out on that. What is this static method? I've never heard of that. See, the problem, I don't want to like post on there and say this still doesn't work because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. A static void. Oh, I see. He just writes his code like a. I hate this foo and all that. I hate it. I hate it. Don't do that. It's so dumb. It's programmer brain is what they got there. See, this is GD script though. I mean, that's this other one. This one's also closed. How old is this one? 70,000. This one's around the same time. Yeah, I don't want to post in here and say this still happens because I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. I could be completely, someone could be like, oh no, you're just doing it wrong, which is true. Yeah, I could be doing it wrong. But all of these have that issue. Let's see what the potential fixes say. Make static. Yeah, that would be nice, but that breaks it. Change the signature. Wrap every parameter. Suppress or configure issues. Yeah, I don't see this is the thing. Like I said, some of these might be real though, where I can make them static. So what is this one? Why is this one? Oh, it's because I'm calling it from another. Or we can just leave these all in here, but it's like I said, they just grow and I'm gonna suppress them. I'm gonna suppress it. Or just ignore. Can I ignore? Can I hide it? Like, go away for a while. Active. Silent. If someone knows how to fix this, tell me. And also tell me if this is so Visual Studio doesn't matter. This is happening to other people. I was thinking maybe it might be a Visual Studio thing. Um, is this the same thing? This one is close as well. And they like to talk. They like to talk a lot. Discuss. See, this person's doing that foo thing too. They must teach that in programmer school. They must be like, don't just put foo in there. No, don't do that. Make it a real life example. I hate that foo thing. You're trying to figure out some tutorial and every fucking variable is named foo and bar, and none of it makes any sense. So you get this fun compiler error. Warning wrong, wrong warning message. Yeah, so they're referencing this other one. They say this is done, but it's not. But this is all GD script stuff. Let's go to actually look at search in their actual issues. I wonder if I made no, this isn't a signal. So this also happens with signals too, because it doesn't know that the signal's there. When you build the project, it doesn't understand that there's a signal there. So this is a different issue, but it's what is this actual? Let's look at this the whole warning here. Does not access instance data and can be marked as static. Static. Let's go back to here. Does not access instance data. What was the rest of this warning? Let's search for that whole warning here. I'm looking at the wrong spot. And can be marked as whoops. And can be marked as static. I was hoping this would bring up a Godot thing without me putting Godot in the front of this. this is still open. I don't want to spend like forever on this, and I guess I could just suppress it. Like I said, it's just, I would prefer, because some of them are real. Yeah, these are something else. And like I said, I just don't know enough about the topic to open a ticket. Not a ticket, open an issue. Mm, I Let's look at these project settings. What was that? Warnings. And then I can static call an instance. It's this thing. Once we do that, and we do this thing, and we do this, are they all gonna go away? It's taking its sweet fucking time, I'll tell you that. Make them airs. That didn't do anything. Maybe it's not that one. Maybe make them. Good God. So I kind of feel like I want the messages to. Um, See, this says it's just GD script, though. I do want to get all the messages out of there. I like a message-free thing. We were talking about this the other day. That was with errors. About like when you open a tutorial or whatever, and you see or you watch a tutorial, and the person has 45 errors in their code, and they're trying to show you something that's not error related. It makes me lose faith in their tutorial skills. But the same thing, for me, it's the same thing if they have 100,000 messages in there. It's like, what are they doing wrong to get all those messages? It really seems like a redundant static unload. It really seems like it should be this one. Maybe this doesn't. It doesn't apply to C#. All right, I guess I'll just ignore them for now. What is the next ones we want to get rid of here? For each statement, this one's easy. We can just do this. Whoops. We got to hit the right hotkey, though. Alt-Enter. There we go. And there's another one. Alt-Enter. And see, like all of my errors are these things. It's like sorry, they're not errors. All of my messages are these things. All right, and this is the thing. This is another thing that, like, I don't need this value. I don't give a fuck about this value. But I have to put it in here because I can't. If I don't, the thing fails. So this is my imagination of the people who make in my imagination of the Godot developers. They just have 10,000 messages in whatever they're working on, and they don't give a flying fuck. They're not as anal as I am. Yeah, so I can't do anything about this. It says to put an underscore, but it doesn't, because it says, like, if you're not going to use it, if I suggest this, I could suppress it, or we could put, like, we could use it. We could do something with it to make that go away. But then I'm going to wonder why that's there. can I not pass it in? Where is this thing? What are we looking at here? Storage HBox. Let's see if I can just not. Oh, I'm not passing it in. But it's passing it in on its. Wait. I don't think that's real. Edit. Let's take it out and see what happens. This one might be okay. I think it has to put in that float though. That's a storage HBox, so we need to go to our resources here. Yeah, it doesn't like it. We did that earlier. So 19 of these messages are messages that aren't real. Oh wait, there's another 18 of these. Are not real. Maybe I'll post on Reddit. Someone will be like, just ignore it. That's what they're gonna tell me. They're like, why do you care? I guess that's all we can fix though. Like this one might actually be. Oh no, we're calling it from up here. This one we might actually be able to mark as static. See, this is the problem. It's only when I call it from another script through instance, or that's what they'll say. They'll be like, you're not. You gotta call it from another script, and with an instance. All right, this one might be okay. What was the one I just fucked with? Assign faction data to county data. Yeah. So make an instance, and you got to do that. In ready, you got to go equals this thing. So you got to have like, I got to find one. Here, globals has one. You got to have an instance of globals that's static. And then in ready, wherever my ready is, you got to have instance equals this. And then you got to call it from another script where it's saying globals instance dot whatever your method name is for that to happen. Unnecessary assignment of value. So yeah, now we have 23 because I opened another script. What are we doing here? Oh, I think this is because we need this. No, but it's not being used anywhere. Oh, I did some. All right, so that's going to be. This one. Oh, you know what I think I did with this is I changed this to because this was fixing something for when I export. This is the issue was this pathing wasn't working, but I actually think that there's another solution for this. So for a while I couldn't get this to work when you export it. You had to type in this actual path. But I think the real reason is you have to open the root directory first. I'm going to leave that there too, so that I know to come back to it at some point. This is not good though. I think the variable can be used if we open up the root directory first. Right now, this code is doing nothing except the GD print stuff. There we go. Okay. And I guess we're back to this. I wasn't procrastinating. Resources need to show on the resource panel. So we added the second faction resource. What are we doing with this thing? That must be used somewhere. What are we doing with that? Okay, so we are setting this. Oh, man. I wonder if we're ever updating this. Where does this is going to be the county name dash resource. Where is this set max storage? This is in county generation. I don't think we're updating this after this. This should be set initial. That's not set spelled right. Initial. That's something's gone wrong there. Initial. There we go. Initial set storage. Let's do this again. There we go. This is another one. Oh, this is no. This is another one of these set. And this one probably can be set to static. Because there's no one calling it. No one. There's no human. No, it's there's nothing. It's not being called from another script. Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure what the people will say is don't use. Okay, so all of these could be static if it says that because there's no. They'll say don't use instance, and that's probably something. Yeah, this one can be too. Updates initial. There we go. County storage. Except no. Go back to that. Rename this. Update initial county storage. What's this thing want? Oh, it's just a recent edit. This one could also be. That one's already static. All of these should be fine. Should be. Let's run it and see if we've just imploded our whole thing here. That last one wasn't asking for it, though. All right, so that's county generation. So that should have already happened. And that's fine. So this is the problem, though. We never update the resources max storage. We set this initial max storage. I just moved on. I moved on to, I don't think there's a way to fix it. I think it's busted. So the solution, the problem is either these warnings shouldn't be warnings, or I shouldn't be using instances, which is probably part of it. Like I think that you're not supposed to be using well, now I can't even find one. I know there's one at Global. I know you're not supposed to be doing this all the time, but it isn't a complete no-no. That's my technical term. But I don't think you're supposed to, in C# be using this as much as I do. But even so, you are supposed to use it sometimes. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I read some Reddit post about C Sharp, and there was a guy who was like, I never access anything outside of the script that it's, because it just leads to spaghetti code. And I was like, how? How is your scripts like? Did you just have one script? Because that would work if you just had one script for everything. It's 900,000 lines long. I don't know, like, but once again, I'm not a professional. I'm just some dude. Um, but let's see. So what was I doing here? I just noticed a major issue, I think, and that is that when we're doing all of this max amount, we do need to update this because this amount can't be a higher than max amount, and we could actually probably write a getter setter for amounts never to be above max amount. I know you're like, why don't you just write it right now? Because we got other problems. And we should probably put this over here. I think that getter setter is like such a silly name. In resource. There's another name for it. Property? I think it's called a property. We're going to put this up at the top. We're going to get to this. But so this is the problem. We do need to know this max amount, and all of that shit that what I was just doing with this HBox and stuff, we need to apply that to the resource. Where did that go? Did I close that? I don't think we need this. We're gonna need this banker though. Storage HBox. We don't actually know what resources attached to this storage HBox, which is kind of interesting that we're able to pull that off. It's because they're not linked together. It's just like some garbage. Where does it even... So let's go back. We need to get this. We need to go back to this thing here, wherever the fuck it is. This thing that is called resource... This one. Yeah, we don't keep track of any of this at all. What a kind of a major oversight here. Oh no, wait. Update each type of resource. Is this doing what I think it's doing? Let me do here. Let me restart here. I think what this is doing is, man, this is an hour. It spent an hour. I think this is gonna reset if we change this. If I close this and then reopen it. Yeah, because none of this shit is getting saved anywhere. It's just like, I mean, it's nice that works, but so this update each type of resource probably runs. When is this thing running? When are you rerunning this? Probably from like setup or something. Why would it be here though? Oh, it's right above up here. Update resource labels, and this on visibility change probably. Yeah, okay. So basically what we need to do is on this HBox, now that I've decoded my code here, we need to put the resource that's in here. It's got to be public. It's going to be a resource data, and it's going to be resource data, I suppose. And then we need to go, what is this extra line doing here? We need to go to where we're setting these up. That was the county generation. Update resources here. This copies and assigns each resource to some list or an array or something. It's being assigned to an array. And then when we open up that thing, where the fuck did that go? It's just going through. It's not there. We need to go to update the resource labels. No, update each type. Maybe we don't need to keep track of this. Actually, I don't think we do need to attach that to the storage HBox. So when this thing is going on, we need to like it sure would make it easier though, because then we could just do storage HBox dot the resource max value. Otherwise, we're gonna have to make this be a for loop, and we would have to go through the array. So let's go back to this county generation thing. Copy and assign resources. This is going to be assigned to here. This is going to implode, though, at some point. Let me write this code, then. That's obviously going to be fucking broken later. Okay, maybe it won't be. We're going to look at what this thing is. What do I got here? These are two arrays. Yes, okay. So this is, we're going to do a, fuck. When we do that, make the AI mess with this shit, it's going to be bizarre. But I guess we'll kick that down the road. We want, for this one, we want a storage HBox array called storage HBoxes. And I guess we could put it. No, we don't want that. We want resource panel container instance. See, we're accessing an instance thing. Perishable storage HBox I dot resource data. Fuck you. Resource data. Angrily cursing at my fingers. Fuck you, fingers. Is going to equal this thing. And we'll put this down here. Except we want that on the other side of the equals. And then this one is going to be basically the same thing, but we're going to say non-perishable. And we're going to say non-perishable. And we're going to tab this over. Can we just do H and D? No, it doesn't fucking like that. Oh, this has to be non-perishable. Perishable, 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 non-perishable, non-perishable, non-perishable. All right. Once again, I should probably have made this a method, and then we could have just dumped in this shit. Okay, so each one of these containers, these containers though, man, we're gonna have to go back and really fuck with this stuff. Uh, is this going through every faction? It is. So we actually want this to go if county data dot, or sorry, county dot county data dot faction data is equal to globals dot instance dot player faction data, then do this. Because this is the fucking AI doesn't have a UI, so we don't want it to do this. This is only for the player counties because the AI doesn't have a UI. There's another problem though here. All I'm doing is setting up more and more problems. Uh, the problem being, what happens when we get to the AI? But we need it this way because, yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with that when we get to the AI stuff. We haven't even thought about I haven't even thought about how we're gonna do the fucking AI storage. Like, how the fuck is the AI gonna know to add and reduce storage to fit more stuff? Like, we're gonna have to do some sort of weird, like, if, you know, 90% of the total storage. Oh my, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare. But we'll do that. We'll just kick that down the road. We should probably put it on our list here under storage, though. We'll do next round. Uh, have AI factions figure out how much storage they need. I wonder how Songs of Six does it. Oh, there aren't any AI factions. We just get rid of the AI factions. Fuck them all. It's a single player game where you just click on the county next to you and they're just yours. It's the true map painting 4X game. You just click. I made a 4X game. You click on the map and then it's yours. I mean, you're going to win anyways, right? You're a human versus an AI. Um, uh, yes, to your comment, that's exactly what we're going to do. Is if this is not equal to that, all right, let's run this shit. I'm going to take a oranges. When I go to visit my parents in San Diego, they always have this gigantic bowl of fruit, and it's like 90% oranges because they have orange trees that produce too many oranges. Not too many. I mean, you're never gonna have too many oranges, but what is your problem? Oh, I think the problem is that the first time we open this, we're oh no, that's not the problem. The problem is that this comes after the faction generation. So the faction or the county or whatever the fuck we're working on is up here, and this hasn't happened yet. So this thing has a script with these things dragged into it. So it doesn't know what that is yet. So what we can do instead is go to our county generation, wherever you were, and cut this and go back to our resource container, and we can put this in ready. Assign resources to storage. H boxes. And then we'll create this, and then I'm going to go take a quick break. And we'll paste this in here, though. Cake. My mom used to make, like, jam and stuff with it. Because there's so many. She just gives it away. Like, if you go to my mom's house, you're going to get a bag of oranges. Even if you don't want them. You take them, and you have to have them. that's they don't give them to me because I have to get on a plane to go back to Oregon, but they probably would love to. They're not like normal big oranges though. They're like tangerine size, and they're very mushy. Not in a bad way. Like it's a good way of mush. It's a good mush. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. Let me turn off my break timer and turn on my music that you guys can't hear. And Lord Mac, how's it going? I didn't even notice that was you. I dawned on me. I just got to be more observant. You know, I complain about the color of the messages, but it's dawned on me it's not just the color. It's I'm the problem once again. We could probably make this one storage, or sorry, static, not storage. It's probably fine because it's just there. I don't think we're doing anything to it. So we need to know what county we're in. Oh, this isn't going to work. This will work if we get the county every time. Does the county... We don't need this, though. We do need that. Actually, you know what we need to have, actually? This is like building all sorts of crazy shit on here. We need to have... the resource button needs to not work if that we don't own the county. The resource button needs to not work if we don't own the county. Right now it works probably with all of the counties. We'll do this next. Resources need to show on the resource panel. Oh yeah, they do. That's what we're doing. Yeah, we need to fix that. Look at this. This is all busted and shit. We don't need to fix it either. So I remember reading on, and I can't remember if it was an article or if it was a Reddit post, and you know, so take my word with a grain of salt here. You should take everyone's word with a grain of salt though, especially if they're online and streaming. But I read this article about this guy in Haiti or someplace. This was like 5 years ago, and I think it was from his point of view, and he was talking about how there was some sort of starvation going on. It was a small island, if I remember correctly, and the only thing that kept them from complete annihilation, his family, was the fact that they had fruit trees, and so they could trade and eat the fruit that was being produced from the trees. Well, everyone else had nothing, basically, and they had to like arm up, and guard their fruit trees. Because of the whatever starvation thing was going on in whatever country it was. This is a great story with all of my... Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Orange pie. Let's look it up. I'm curious. Orange fruit pie. Otherwise, we're just going to get frog pants or something. Meringue. That kind of looks gross, but orange meringue seems like it would be good. A berry fruit pie. Robert E. Lee's. Oh. Orange meringue seems good. All right. So let's fix this thing. So we're going to do... we're going to use an instance here, and we're going to go selected Left Cliff County is going to county, which is going to be a county. We're going to make sure it's not a cunty, of course. Whoops. Got some issues here. There we go. And so if the county is this thing, which we don't actually need that because we're going to make it so that the For each, though, we're going to need a for int I equals 0. Just auto-populate it for me. All right, it's not going to. We'll do this storage. Man, I hate to write another thing for here. I is less than perishable. Perishable. It's right there. Perishable. Why don't you like me? It's right. I'm looking at it at the top of the screen. Perishable resource storage HBox. Why won't it do it for me there? It doesn't like it. Oh man. HBox? HBox? It doesn't like this. What is the problem here? It's probably because I have this other crap down at the bottom. I bet you if I like do something like this. I haven't had Chinese food in forever, and I actually was like dying for some Chinese food recently, but I didn't want to go alone. Is it because of this stupid static thing? Son of a bitch. Yeah, I didn't want to go alone, and then I was trying to think of what friends would be down for just spontaneously going to a Chinese food place, and my list came up empty. No, none of my friends are into spontaneous Chinese food visits or any visits whatsoever. We're all old and crotchety, but I really do want to get some Chinese food. Yeah, orange flavored chicken. Yeah, this should be I. And so all we're going to do is assign the perishable resources to the thing here, and then we'll just make a copy of this, and we'll put this here, and we'll do non, and we'll do non, and we'll do non. In reality, I should probably make this methods. Non's pretty good. So we're talking about food. Food always comes. And then I'm like, let's talk about potatoes. My love of I bought some potatoes because we were talking about them so much on my other channel. Because every survival game has potatoes. And I was playing RimWorld and I was offline. I wasn't streaming it, and I was like, my people keep starving, and it sucks. I was just whining, like, oh, I gotta make more farms. And he's like, why don't you just do rice farms? Like, rice farms are the way to go. And I'm like, because I want my people to be able to eat potatoes. Because potatoes take longer in RimWorld. Beef strips and oyster sauce. I don't know. Is oyster sauce like really salty? Aren't they like salty? Semen flavored, I believe is what I've heard. Okay, what are we doing here? I've never actually had oysters. All right, so let's run this to make sure it doesn't just crap out. I can't remember if I copied it or cut that thing on the other side, so it's probably gonna crap out. We'll see. Yeah, so we need to get this needs to go back to that. I've never had oysters, I don't think. I don't like the slurpiness. It looks gross to me. They're kind of expensive for some weird gross, here they are, for some weird gross slurpy thing. Many of so that might be that something that spontaneously would my friends might be willing to do. All right, so something went wrong here. Let's go like the standard Chinese food is not enough to because I was spontaneously what did we get? It was something crazy. It wasn't Chinese food. It was um pho. All right, why don't you like me? Why don't you like this? What do you think is the problem here? No, I wanted to look at this. Yeah, it's like a soup, but it was like some new place that had opened up that was like really hip and stuff, but also at the time pretty inexpensive. Um, and it was pretty good. And there was some chicken. No, it was some sort of pork side dish that my friend said, "Oh, watch out!" That like you bought it for the whole table. You know, it was like an appetizer. And my friend was like, "Watch out, those things are hot." And I thought he meant spicy hot, but it was temperature hot. And holy shit, it was so fucking hot. It was like that's my takeaway from this whole going to some fancy hip place. Um, so why don't you like this? You are here. Maybe you don't like the county data. Selected left click county. Maybe these aren't getting assigned the perishable resources. I thought we were. Portland has a lot of hip places, and generally I try to avoid them because they're too packed out. They're too busy. And there's one place that for years, it had lines out the fucking door, and everyone told me how great it was, but they served um, fried chicken waffles, and that was like their thing. And I couldn't. Okay, so here's the duplicate. This is how this should be going, and this is in county generation, so it should be happening before this. So this should be getting assigned. A duplicate of this should be getting assigned already. So that should be right. Let's go back to this error here. Yeah, getting there early. So I used to also I cut my own hair now because I'm so fucking lazy that I don't want to travel to go get my hair cut. That's why my hair is all fucked up all the time. I just shave my head and then I miss these big, like you can't see it with the headset on, luckily. But I get like these patches on the side. I think I get them, but I never do. Um, but I used to go to a place and when I lived in Northwest Portland because I could walk there and I would get there like Sunday at like 9 a.m. when they opened. They probably hated my guts, but there was never a line. So I could be in and out of there like in 10 minutes because shaving someone's head is really easy. It was like $20. Getting places early is the key to my life, but now I never leave my house. um, so that's getting there. And this thing, I equals 0. Um, I think I know what it is. We gotta go to this thing. I think this was just like I've been doing this a lot lately. Where is this? I think this needs to be new. Or let's see if that solves the problem. I think that might have to be a new one. Well, it depends where you go. Like if you go to like an actual um, hairdresser, like where they're gonna actually cut your hair, it's pretty expensive. Um, no, that did not solve the problem. But if you go to a barber where they're just shaving your head, it's generally pretty cheap because it's fast. And if they have done it 100 times, it takes them like no time to do it. Where did I do this here? Storage HBox. Resource data. Isn't that what I'm passing over? Well, I would get a different error. Let's put an export on here and see what's happening real quick. Yeah, if you're a woman getting a haircut, it's usually, this is a vast, depending on the haircut, but it's usually very, very expensive. So that is there. Let's go. What is this thing's problem? Let's do this. GD, we can narrow it down here with to which one of these are by doing this. And if it bugs out here, we know it's this side. I had this girlfriend, this is like 20 years ago, and I was the only breadwinner in the family there, me and her, and I lived with her, and what did I say? Count. It should be county. But this time I can use your filter thing. Yeah, it didn't get there. It bugged out on that. It's the county data perishable resources that's not here. Um, and one of the things is she likes to get her hair done like every couple months or something. So we would save that money because like when you're broke, like having one thing you can look forward to. Mine was alcohol. Well, alcohol was my thing to look forward to, and so hers was the haircut. And so we would save up money, and she would go to get a haircut every couple months at like a salon or whatever. And then one day she got a haircut and it looked great or whatever, but she seemed apprehensive about something, and I finally got out of her that she spent $400 on the haircut, and I was just fucking baffled because that was like all of the money we had, and I was like, "How the fuck did you spend $400 on a haircut? Like that's out of control." Um, what we could do here is we could see. I feel like I'm missing something silly here. Assign resource. We want to. Let's do assigned resource. Whoops. Copy this. Yeah, it was out of control. She said she felt bad because the hairdresser was just kept doing stuff, and no, it was. So she said she felt like she couldn't say no to the hairdresser, and I was like, well, we don't have the money. What did I put this as? Assigned resource. We're going to use this filter this time. They're getting assigned. I mean, I don't have like the name in here, but who cares? Like we could put the name in here. Um, so then I wonder why. So it's assigning it to every one of these. I wonder if it's happening. Oh, is it happening after? Yeah, it wasn't a nice whiskey. It was. I'm a big fan of the cheap shit. Um, okay, so look. Wait, is this happening? Douglas has fish, vegetables, or whatever, and then we're getting an assigned resources. Maybe this is. Uh, maybe this is happening. Update resources. Copy and assign resources. But this shouldn't be happening way earlier. Where is this thing in the, like, this should be way down here. County resource is where it croaks out. So, I mean, that's going to be right here. What the fuck? Perishable resources 0. GD print perishable. Perishable plus perishable. I mean, I don't think that would work with that being not 0, 1, you know, because it's only counting up to 2. 0, 1. 0, 1. For a second, I was like 0, 1, 0, 1. What the flying fuck? Maybe. What are we doing here? This is, we know this. This has to be correct. I guess it doesn't have to be correct. GD print county. County data, county name. Now we'll see if it stops there. Like, this is very bizarre. Non-alcoholic. Does it taste the same? You know, though I don't never really drink alcohol for the taste. So let's see where this croaked out now. What? It croaked out at 30. Why does it think that this is not? It croaked at 30, and all we're doing is the county name. It's like, am I not selecting a county when I do this? Is this not getting... Is the selected county too fast? I mean, too slow. That could be it. I click this, and the selected county is too slow. When does this thing happen? Fucking method order bullshit. To change the title of my video again. I wasn't even looking. I need to see if this happens before I click. It is. It's happening. Oh, that's the issue. Okay. This is just because we have this in ready, but we need it in ready, but we don't have a left click thing, so it can't be in ready. This is the problem. We're going to have to reassign this in on visibility change if visible. This is a good reason to have a have it as its own method, I guess. And we'll just have to do this every time. Yeah, that's the problem. It wasn't the load orders this time. I totally thought it was, and it's crazy that's constantly an issue. I feel like that shouldn't be an issue all the time for me. So now maybe that's just something that comes with experience. You're just always like, oh, this is going to happen before this or something. We want to make sure that this county resource is on here, that this has been done somewhere. And this is another thing we will use the, it is not, is this case sensitive? It is, well, regardless. That's not happened yet though. I need to open this up. Okay, so that does, now this is being, all of that, we got to talk about oranges though. All of that to get this to work, this has now been assigned to here, that when we go back and we have this, it's down here, we update the value, we also need to update the storage HBox resource data max value amount needs to equal this thing. This is gonna be a mess when we get to the, what's your fucking problem? I know what your fucking problem is. We're gonna do that. Wait, this is an int, isn't it? Oh, it's a double. Thanks. I'm gonna go int. All right, so now we have the max amount set, and that should happen every time. But let's do this just to make sure that this is working. I think I can put something in here. I guess we'll write this getter setter right now. A public, let's do it this way though. Rename max, and then rename max, and then we go int max amount, and then we go, yep, get, whatever, fill it in, man. Why can't it do it for me? I can't remember what these are, but I have 1,000 getter setters somewhere. Here's one right now. It just return whatever. Where was that? Return max amount. And then set, we just want, yeah. You had it there. But then we're just gonna GD print resource name and value, or we'll do max amount, and then we'll go to the end here. So the reason I'm putting this in here is just so that we when we start changing shit, we know it's actually happening. We could have gotten rid of that thing, but so when we go over to the storage page, we want, or the resource page, we want this to print out the new value. What did I change though? The problem is we need to put something in here to make this. We'll do the old getter setter in here, because we have so many I have so many console prints. Print T, what does print T do? I know the rich one. Oh, it's setting it right there. Vegetables is 500. So let's say we just left it like this. We close this thing. See, this is wrong. Put a tab between. What are you talking about? What are you speaking of? Print T. Put a tab between each. There's 10 tabs. What does that do? Print T. I mean, they're over there. What does print T say? Oh, it puts a tab between each one. Huh. Interesting. Put a comma, but you mean like this, right? You go like this, except we want a space, and then you put like a comma here. We need this T back. God, come over here. And this to go away. Okay, no, I guess that's not what you mean. It has to be inside the quotes. Do you need a plus in here? Do you need these things to be out of here? Probably not the plus then. Yes, the plus. Print T. Worked on the first one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't actually need this here. Let's go back to our little squigs here. It doesn't matter for right now. What we need to do, though, is we need to, when we close the resource panel on visibility change, we need to have a thing here called set resource max values. And in fact, I don't think we even need this here anymore. What we need instead. So while you're dicking around in there, it doesn't matter. But what we need instead is we can do the same for each thing. And put this up here, or whatever we did. Wait, am I going in the wrong spot? I think it's a for loop, wasn't it? We need this to be a for loop. For I equals 0. Get this crap out of here. This here, and whatever we call this. Whoops, we didn't put an int in here. And then this is going to be I is less than. We're going to copy this time because of. Just to make sure. And then we go I plus plus, and then we can do this. And we go. We can use this. I was thinking we couldn't use this for a second, but we can use this. What is your problem here again? We need length on the end here. And we need that I in here. Storage HBox should actually be this thing. We could just do this. Since I already have that partially written, we'll just... That's all we need, actually. And then we go I. And then we'll do up here. And then we'll go down here. And then we'll go copy. Whoops. That is absolutely not what we want. Then we'll do this. And then we'll do this. And now it should go through. Let's put this up here. Set the resource, the county resource max storage to equal whatever the player left it as. So this is the thing, like we need it so that if for some reason the player doesn't want it, wants to have just like available storage sitting around, that's fine. We need to tell it to do that. Like at the beginning, it gets set to 50-50, you know? But at some point, we want to be like, let's say they just want 2,000 vegetables and they close it. But that doesn't work because we got to do something first here. So this works. Let me see. No, it's not max value that we want. We just want this to be set to value. Because that's that whole spin, and that's a different like thing. You're setting this value while you're in here. You're setting the max value. You're not setting the value of the fish. Like there's not. You're not adding and subtracting fish. You're fucking with the max value here. So if we go down, and let's just go, yeah, let's like that. We have some leftover stuff. Perfect. So that's what we want. So this is setting those resource max values. So each, you could for some whatever reason, you know, I do it in fucking Songs of Six. I'll have like a big chunk of storage just sitting around, so I know that when I'll have like whatever 250 storage sitting around in my warehouse that's not used and not set for anyone, and then as I run out I start taking away that storage, and then when I see that I'm running out of storage I go, oh fuck, I need to build more storage. So that is like a thing that happens. We sure have a lot of stuff going down there. All right, so we didn't even get to this part. We got to everything else. This is only gonna work for the player, though. That's gonna be a whole other ball of wax. Yeah, that's gonna be down here. But all right, so we need to show back to this thing. I think that was everything. Did I? Wait, no, there was some bug or something. Oh, this is what we need to do here. We can go back and we can set this getter setter since we're doing this anyways. If no, we don't need to do that. We can do. It's one of those math things. Max math thing. Is that It is, and I moved the multiplayer up on the list because we're gonna have to, the farther we get along, the more complicated it's gonna be to, this isn't the list, to untangle multiplayer. So multiplayer is here, so we're getting towards it. I'm gonna rename this because it looks funny. I changed my naming convention like 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago and didn't do anything. Save that there. So to make it compliant, as you're calling, which is actually a pretty good term, that we're gonna find out. There's gonna be a lot of things that we like. So currently, how I instantiate stuff, where it's just like you instantiate this thing, like with these guys. This is instantiated, this button and stuff. So actually, the buttons wouldn't be instantiated across, but like when I go to move this, the other players need able to see that, and so it needs to be instantiated over to their screen. So that's, and it's a different, it's like a network instantiate or some shit, and it syncs it back and forth so that like the other players need to be able to see this. And the other thing is basically all of these major variables that they also need to sync back and forth to, all of the variables that we're just storing for the player need to also, what is this? I don't want to look at this fucking method. I want to just look at the learn part. Just show me it. Returns the larger of the two. Why can I never remember this thing? I use it every once in a blue moon. Math functions. It's not max. It's min. It's probably min then. Min. So yeah, that's definitely gonna have to come sooner. And I fucked around with the multiplayer. I have it in my little list here. I was trying to make it so with a problem. I have like a multiplayer lobby that I was fucking around with. The problem with, it's not a problem. It's how it's set up. Why am I going to these methods? Is it because I put thing in here? Returns the smaller of two numbers. Okay, so I go math dot min. We got to put this in here. Amount equals math. Why aren't you upset? I mean, why are you upset? Amount, comma. No, that was right. That was right. Max amount. So whichever one's lower. So if the amount's 10, it's going to return the amount. And if it's 3,000, well, yeah, it will return the max amount. Why? What is your problem? What do you need? Use some system? Yeah, do it. You don't have to ask me. I'm always like, what is this system crap? And I just delete it out of there. So that's going to be kind of hard to test because I have it set up not, to not, well, we don't even have an amount being set, but that does need to be in there. So we did that. So we can close this thing. And we're just going to assume that works because I'm such an amazing programmer. And this needs to be private. And we need to do the next thing, which is resources need to be assigned. I wonder if I can do this in 8 minutes. I might be able to. This is the story event thing. The banker adds the resource, or the resource. So let's go back to our banker. And we go Oh shit, no, I'm not gonna be able to do this in 8 minutes. We need to go back to these resources and reassign some stuff. So there should be resource data, two different things here. This is not a building material, that is food. I guess you could build stuff out of this one's special, so it gets its own thing. This is not fish either. This is not fish. Did I leave that other one as fish? Scrap, scrap, scrap. Vegetables, food. With an enum, can you put a space in here? That's a rhetorical question because we're going to do it. Can you put a space right in here? I don't feel like you can. Let's see. You cannot. Otherwise, we could say like the name equals this thing, but with the space there, we can't. And then we'd have to do a bunch of shit. So, and all right. It is, sometimes it's just easier just to try it. I'm probably not as a professional, but for me, it's just easier to try it sometimes. All right, that's fine with this. So now we have, unless I set up the things wrong. So then we can go back to the banker here. We can add resource. So this is changed now. This also, I think there's another. So this is going to be, what did I call it? Add resources. Okay, so the resources are like county resources. So let's rename this. I'm being very crazy about the renaming of stuff. I know I'm always crazy about it, but even more so from that clusterfuck on my other game that I worked off online or offline. So this is currently going through and doing that, but what we need it to do, currently we're only adding in food. This is all wrong. We need it to be like if this is fish, we need this to go to the county. Let's just do this from scratch here. I need to do it like this. List of terms. What do you mean? We're going to do this. Case. All enums. County resource type. Fish. This is the thing. I think it's fish. I think it's fish that we're doing. I still don't know what you mean. So if this thing is fish, then whoops. Then we want it. What is your problem here? Oh, we're not doing. We want county resource type. I definitely forget I changed the names of stuff, but when I like, oh, you mean like a list for myself? That's not gonna help me any. I just have to adjust to things. I just got to have a bunch of bugs. So the bugs help me remember. the bugs, if I have a bunch of bugs, eventually I go, oh yeah, this, and it gets built into my brain what is going on. But so I think the thing that helps me better is naming these better. So like instead of saying add resource, it's an adding a county resource, or a faction resource or whatever. And writing better comments. So the banker, if this is fish, which we know it is, we're gonna have to actually go back to the story event and look at what this story event shit is. So this is just putting in a resource, so that's fine. We'll go back to our banker. Faction name is adding blank. The resource name, if it's adding to the fish, where would this fish go? This is for a story event. So that changes how our story events work too. We're never going to get this in time. We need to know where the story events is happening, which is good. Story event title, story event description. This is not going to be an export. This is going to be at the bottom here. There's going to be a public county event county. I have in my work, I have like checklists for everything, and I email myself everything because of my terrible memory. I feel like it's getting better though. My memory is since I stopped drinking a couple years ago or whatever. And I take vitamins because I'm old. But I don't know if any of that shit actually does anything. And it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm much better. What was I doing? So here we're gonna need the county. So we're gonna go like story events, county, event county, resource. The problem is we don't actually, they're just like in an array over there. So we're gonna have to go, get out of here. We're gonna have to write a method for this called assign resource to county. And we're going to do this. Let's say add. Let's call this add. And then we're going to put in well, let's write one of them first here, and then we'll do it. I'm running out of time though. So it's going to go for each resource data in story event county perishable. What is there? What in county data? We have two different lists again. Man, these two lists are killing me because I have to do everything twice. Everything has to be done 2 different times. I wonder if I should have a list of my lists. At some point we might. So for each one of these, if resource data dot county resource type equals, well, now we're like at the, there's got to be a better way to do this. So we already know it's the fish type. Then we got to go through all of these and assign it. We could turn that thing into a dictionary. All right, I'm at it. I'm not going to be able to do this today. This is going to take an eternity. These resources are going to be a pain. So let's say your event has fish, and you need to assign it to the fish that is on a county. Currently, it's in an array, so we'd have to go through all of those, and we'd have to be like, if it's a fish, assign it to the fish. But if we did a dictionary, we could do a dictionary of um, of the different things in there. We could just say, like, if it's fish, make it a fish. Instead of going through them looking for the fish. So let's do this. Let's comment this out for right now. Let's put a note on here so I don't forget. This is what you were working on. And then we're going to go back over to here. Possibly convert the county resource arrays into dictionaries. Well, they probably should have been dictionaries at the beginning. But I'm gonna look up. There'll probably be a Godot dictionary. We'll probably do one of these. Um, it's like the GNU thing, where the first part's first part's references itself and it's silent. um, So let's think about this real quick before I call it a day. We should probably push this code. I'm not gonna make any more changes. So what did we do? Max storage works, and counties have their resource max storage set. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Um, so let's look at one of the things where we're going through them like an array and see if we can change it to a dictionary. So for like this one, we're going through the length of the thing. We could still do the length of the dictionary. And then on here though, instead of resource data, we would be like, if dictionary fish equals type fish or whatever, we would assign it that way. We would just do a for each in there, and then we would just, well, we'd have to put an if in there, I guess. Oh, these don't know what they are yet, though. So this one actually wouldn't even change, I don't think, because it's just going to be like, yeah, assign that to the first one. Like you're the first one in the dictionary, assign it to it wouldn't be length, it'd be count or whatever. C# for dictionary. Do you have to do something weird? I haven't used a dictionary in a while. I mean, they got to have an int. Get the fuck out of here. No, that was the right one. Okay. This code sucks. I don't want to look at your garbage. Well, there's a for each. Dictionary summary. Look at all this stuff. Oh, he's counting backwards? Item key. Dictionary element and I. All right, so that's totally doable. We just got to, yeah, I think we could change it to a dictionary without a major catastrophe. And it, like I said, it's probably what it should have been. Woulda, shoulda, woulda, shoulda been done at the beginning. Um, so, anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will talk to you tomorrow probably.